BMW's littlest M car then, the M2. All steel bodied, the M2 weighs only 25 kilos less than a carbon fibre roofed M3, and it also has a 3-litre straight 6 engine under the bonnet. That's not a sort of small light revvy unit like a Toyota GT86, is it? Let me show you the power and torque graph for that motor. That is 370 pounds-feet of torque from 1400 revs all the way through to 4.5. That's a big bruising muscle car type of engine, and it is not simple inside either. There are 3 different driving modes that change the adaptive dampers, steering weight, the gearbox response, the engine response, and there's an active limited slip rear differential that I need to tell you the text about here. It locks up. The lock is also closed by the required percentage through enthusiastically driven curves according to the levels of lateral acceleration and drive at work. So, given the 46 grand M2 is barely any lighter than an M3 or M4 and has 60 horsepower less, is it just a half-hearted, poor man's version of its bigger brothers? In a word, no. This car is really, really entertaining. So what have we got? Well, ostensibly a 2 Series body, but it's wider by a couple of inches overall to fit within it largely aluminium M3, M4 suspension. The straight 6 engine has been tweaked up to 365 horsepower, and it drives through either a 7-speed DCT or what we have here, a 6-speed manual transmission. Gone for a 6-speed because manuals are back in at the minute, aren't they? I'll tell you what this gearbox does do though. It automatically blips the throttle on downshifts to smooth out those shifts for you. Now that's okay. There it is. In fact, it's very good. It works very well. I'd quite like the option to turn it off. You can turn it off. The only way I can find of turning it off is if you push the DSC off, and then it won't do it for you. I don't always want DSC off, but I might like the option of heel and towing to do that myself. DSC off is quite good fun in this car. No, it's not as light, it's not as pure as a 2002 turbo, an E30 M3. No modern car is going to be. No modern car can have so little in it and be made of such thin steel. Can you imagine the end cap stars? But the upshot of the fact that this car is a bit smaller than an M3 or M4, even though it's not manically lighter, it does feel more agile, it does feel sharper, it does feel like there's more turning. An M3 and an M4 feel agile anyway, really lovely cars to drive. This just brings it on that extra step. It's reminiscent almost of the 1M coupe. So this is probably as pure as you can get, unless you don't fit, for example, a large 6-cylinder engine. But there are advantages, as Porsche is probably lamenting, to having a 6-cylinder large capacity engine, in that they sound mega in a way that some Ford Fox do not. And if you're going to charge nearly 50,000 quid for a coupe, well, an expensive, rich sound is something worth having. On a road like this, I mean, I've got things turned up now into Sport Plus and DSC off, but by no means is the steering too heavy or the dampers too firm. I mean, this is, it's a smooth road, but it's not racetrack smooth. But the dampers still give a really nice, compliant ride. The steering's really slick and smooth, and the handling is just spot on. It's just exactly what you would expect and what you want from a front-engined rear-wheel drive sports car. There's a little bit of understeer, but you can quell that by just sort of trailing the brakes into the corner, and then when you get back on the throttle all the way up again, it'll straighten it or more, because there's so much torque, there's so much oomph available on the back wheels. It's just got a really beautiful balance. It's a really thrilling, engaging, lovable car to drive. I think this is going to be one of those M cars that we love, we cherish, we enjoy and we remember for a very, very long time.